Happy 2025, beautiful friend. We made it. This is going to be an historic year of unprecedented change with all the outer planets changing signs. This has never before happened in our lifetimes. And yes, it could make our human selves feel a bit anxious, no question. But if you resonate with being highly sensitive, empathic, a spiritual being on an awakening path, as I do, we came here for this. We are ready for this on a soul level, and together in tribe and community, we can thrive. We're going to begin to feel the energetic shifts right away in January as the North Node of Destiny and the South Node of Fate leave Aries and Libra and enter Pisces and Virgo for the next 18 months. And Mars retrogrades back into the home and family focused sign of Cancer. And the month closing out with a beautiful, expansive new moon in Aquarius. And not only this, just after the new moon, Uranus, the electrical wildcard planet of shocks and surprises, stations direct and accelerates the momentum of change and new beginnings. So in this video, I'm excited to share with you the key transits and the dates of January 2025, how you can navigate them with the most ease and grace. That's part one of the video. In part two, I'm going to be doing readings for all 12 signs, focusing on the Mars retrograde in Cancer and any other key transits for your sign. And as always, pulling an oracle card for each of the 12 signs as well. Be sure you watch part one of this video if you want to get the lowdown and maybe make a list of the key transits of the month. If you're brand new to the channel, a warm welcome to you. I'm Betsy Gutting. I am a psychic astrologer and intuitive life coach and the author of the book, The Magic of Saying Yes, Answering Your Heart's True Calling, which is linked in the description box below. It is my joy, my dedication and passion to empower you through Western tropical astrology. It's also my intention that we grow a like-minded community. So if you want to find your tribe, be sure and subscribe so you don't miss a video. I write about the astrology between videos. So if you would like to get my weekly inspirational astrology updates direct to your inbox before they go out on social media, go to my website, subscribe for free, and you will also get my free gift instant download at the same time. I do astrology consultations. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my consultations as well as my coaching at the end of this video, and also what your free gift is and how you can get it. Welcome back to those of you who've been watching my videos. I'm incredibly grateful for your subscribes. Take a moment right now to tap the like button. It really matters to the algorithm getting this video out to more people who love astrology, and I super appreciate your support of the channel. The month of January begins January 2nd with Venus entering the water sign of Pisces. I love Venus in Pisces. She is exalted here. She is known for her compassion, her altruism. Venus in Pisces helps us with forgiveness. She will help us release our past. If there are remnants that we are yet to let go of, she is going to help us to deepen our divine connection and tap into our intuitive guidance. Venus is going to be in Pisces until February 4th. This is a great energy for creating a vision for your new year and doing anything that is creative for you, my friend, anything that lights you up, anything that brings you more alive. On January 3rd, Mars retrograde in Leo is going to make an exact opposition to Pluto in Aquarius. We are going to feel this between January 1st and the 5th. And this is the same opposition that happened November 3rd, just before the US election. Back then, the opposition between Pluto and Mars was Mars in Cancer and Pluto in Capricorn. And now Mars is in Leo, opposing Pluto in Aquarius. And of course, Mars is retrograde in Leo. However, I bring up the US election because that was a very volatile and emotionally heightened time for all of us collectively and many of us individually as well. So if you feel emotionally triggered during this transit, it's a call to reclaim your power, to set clear boundaries, to do your best not to obsess. I know that's easier said than done. Most importantly, to take action on what you have control over and know that regardless of what anyone else is doing, because with oppositions, we often feel it in a relationship, regardless of whether someone's pushing your buttons or not, or whether you're in a power struggle, know that you always have options. What I love is that after this opposition between Mars retrograde in Leo and Pluto in Aquarius, on January 4th, Mars is going to trine the North Node in Aries. Now, keep in mind that the North Node has been in Aries, and this is the North Node of destiny after all. This is our souls calling us forward into new territory. The North Node has been in Aries since July of 2023. It is now, during this transit on January 4th, going to be at the very last degree. It moves backwards, so it will have moved backwards to 0 degrees. 0 degrees is an anaretic degree. It is where anything is possible. The 0 encompasses the all. And with Mars trining the North Node of destiny, you could feel something sparking your inspiration. You could feel like you are being called to something new that you haven't thought of before, or maybe you thought of it before because it's Mars retrograde. You've thought of it before and you put it on a shelf, or it was in the back of your mind, and now it comes to the forefront again. This is a really important time to pay attention to what is inspiring you, what's coming up for you, who are you meeting. This can bring fated or destined connections, events, situations that potentially can change the course of your life. Now, I also love that on the same day, January 4th, the Sun in Capricorn is going to make a sextile. It's going to harmonize with Saturn in Pisces. The Sun in Capricorn, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. It's sextiling Saturn in Pisces. What does this mean? It means that there's a foundation or something solidifying for us that is visionary, it's creative, it will bring fulfillment to your spirit. Not everyone will feel this transit strongly. It will depend, like all of the transits that I'm sharing with you in this video and in all of my videos, it will depend on whether this transit of the Sun sextiling Saturn is activating a natal planet or point in your astrology chart. But sextiles bring new opportunities, they bring solutions, workarounds, they often solve something for us or show us options where we didn't think we had options before. On January 6th, we're going to have Mars retrograding back into the sign of Cancer. You are going to feel this transit most personally and intensely if you have planets or points between 17 and 29 degrees of Cancer, or the other cardinal signs of Capricorn, Libra, or Aries. We're all going to feel this transit, though, on a collective level. And wherever you have Cancer in your natal astrology chart, this is definitely an important transit to be aware of. I did a separate video for you on the Mars retrograde in Leo. So if you would like a deep dive on Mars retrograde in general, go watch that video, because I went into the quote unquote do's and don'ts of a Mars retrograde, regardless of the sign that it's in, and some of the things that can happen during any Mars retrograde. And one of the things that can come up is that you can feel tested regarding your desire, your motivation, your spark of inspiration. It can feel like a test. It can feel like Mars is knocking on your door saying, is this still working for you? Do you still want to do this? Do you still have energy for this? If you have been working too much, if you are burnt out, if something has reached an end point for you, the purpose of Mars retrograde is to show us what no longer holds passion and spark for us. Now, with Mars retrograde in Cancer, where you might feel this energy is anything to do with home and family, because Cancer rules the 4th house of the zodiac. Your roots, ancestral healing, the mother, your mother line, the homeland, and that's homeland for all of us wherever we live or where we're from. And also self-mothering. This is a transit in which we are really going to be aware of how we feel on an emotional level, because Cancer energy attaches to what it loves. It's a devotional energy and it wants emotional security. Whatever it's devoted to, if it's not receiving back what it's giving, and we all have this somewhere in our chart, if we're not receiving back what we're giving, what we're attached to, we're really going to feel it during this Mars retrograde time. And the point of it is to have us make some sort of course correction so that we can source our emotional security in healthy places that are reciprocal. And that holds true whether it's a relationship, your actual home, your job, career, the way you spend your leisure time. It will be different for everyone depending on where you're experiencing this retrograde in your natal chart, which is one of the things I'm going to go into for you in the 12 sign readings. This Mars retrograde in Cancer is going to end on the 23rd of February, but the post-shadow period is going to go until April 18th of 2025. So you may not feel a full resolution or see something that is meant to come to light for you until that mid-April time period. Mars retrograde can be a karmic call of the soul. It calls us back. So if you feel called back to something that you used to do with your physical body, like a specific exercise program, listen to that. If you feel called back to a friendship or a romantic relationship, there's a reason for that. If you feel called back to a place you used to live, your home, for example, or a place that you loved visiting or spending time in, there's a reason for that as well, my friend. These are karmic calls often that we are meant to say yes to finish something out, or for whatever reason we end up understanding after the transit is all said and done. Now, on January 8th, Mercury is going to leave the sign of Sagittarius where it was retrograde, and it's going to enter the earth sign of Capricorn. Mercury in Capricorn loves to plan, loves to build something that is long-term, sustainable, a solid foundation. Mercury in Capricorn is all about how can I climb the ladder? How can I get ahead? It's ambitious, it's goal-oriented. So Mercury is our thinking in our conversations. This is going to be a time most likely from January 8th to almost the end of the month before Mercury changes signs again, which I'll get to, where we're really going to be thinking and talking about our plans. And often it's related to career or anything else that you feel ambitious about. The good news, no, the great news, this is great news. For anyone with planets or points in the mutable signs who has been feeling the mutable T-square that we've had when Mercury was in Sag, I want you to know that this is ending. You will not likely feel this after the first week of January. Mercury in Sag has been opposing Jupiter in Gemini, and Saturn in Pisces has been T-squaring them both, and this has been quite overwhelming for many people. It's like your plate is too full, I can't do another thing. May have made you feel inadequate, like you just couldn't do anything well or as well as you wanted to. Or it just could have brought in a lot of crazy glitches, as Mercury retrogrades can do, but amplified that much more by Jupiter and Saturn squaring each other as well. So by mid-January, that will be completely over. But even after the first week, I think the energy will have diminished quite a bit, and that is great news. Perhaps the most significant transit of this month of January 2025 is on January 11th. The nodes of destiny and fate, the north node of destiny, the south node of fate, are going to change signs. They're going to leave Aries and Libra where they've been since July of 2023, and they're going to enter Pisces and Virgo. The north node will be in Pisces, the south node will be in Virgo. And what this means is if you have planets or points in Pisces or Virgo, you will likely experience a pivotal life change sometime over the next 18 months. The nodes move backwards, so they will start at 29 degrees and move backwards. And this axis of Pisces and Virgo is the healing axis. With Pisces, it is our spiritual source. It is our divine oneness, compassion, forgiveness, our creative visioning, our ability to co-create with the divine. The South Node in Virgo is going to help us to be less perfectionistic, to not continue any unattainable standards or just being too hard on ourselves. I have a separate video for you on this transit where I did a super deep dive, as well as readings for all 12 signs. So I highly encourage you to watch that. And if you will be having your nodal return or your reverse nodal return, that is your North Node or South Node are in Pisces or Virgo, you definitely want to watch that video because I go into examples of how you might experience your nodal return or your reverse nodal return, what you can expect and how you can navigate the energies. And for all of us collectively, this is a very significant transit because this is where we're going to have eclipses over the next 2 years. And eclipses course correct us. They pick us up and move us to the place that we're meant to be. So you may want to look back to the last time we had the North Node in Pisces, which was late June of 2006 through December of 2007. What happened for you during that time? Leave me a comment below. Let me know. I have my North Node in Virgo and my South Node in Pisces. And the last time the North Node was in Pisces, my marriage of 22 years ended. So obviously that was a huge life-changing event for me. Anything life-changing happen for you? Let us know in the comments below. We would love to hear. Now the energy begins to pick up between January 10th and the 18th. This could feel like a pivotal time for you. At the very least, I think a lot of people are going to have realizations. Between the 10th and 14th of January, Mars retrograde is going to make a beautiful trine to Neptune in Pisces. I love this transit. It's very healing. It's super creative. It gives us an opportunity to express and release any energy or emotions that will lighten us. Sound healing, dancing, making art. And a Mars retrograde to a Neptune in Pisces could definitely feel karmic for you. You could also heal a relationship with a family member during this time. January 13th, we're going to have a full moon in Cancer. It's going to conjunct Mars retrograde in Cancer and trine Neptune. I love the trine to Neptune. This is going to be a high-powered full moon, given that it is conjunct Mars. This could be quite motivating for you. You could cut ties to a situation, person, or anything that you have been devoted to, attached to. This is a beautiful full moon for giving your inner child extra TLC. And it's going to happen at 23 degrees, which will most affect those of you with planets or points between 18 and 28 degrees of the cardinal signs, Cancer, Capricorn, Libra, or Aries. I will do a separate video for you, as I always do, on this full moon. It's my next video, in fact, so be sure and tap the subscribe button if you are not yet subscribed so you don't miss that video. On January 14th, I feel some of us will have a cathartic moment. Why do I say this? Venus in Pisces is going to make a square to Jupiter in Gemini. Squares between Venus and Jupiter can be very enjoyable. They can be where we feel like we really have to let loose. It can be a great transit to go out and have a good time. Jupiter in Gemini is very expansive and it wants freedom. However, squares can feel over the top. We can go to excess, overindulge, and the next day wishing that we hadn't gone so all out, so to speak. January 15th, the Sun in Capricorn is going to make an opposition to Mars in Cancer. This is the midpoint of the Mars retrograde. Something could come to light for you that you are meant to become aware of during this Mars retrograde. The Sun opposing Mars, I have to say, any opposition like this is often uncomfortable. It's not a transit I would order off the menu for sure. But it can be really great for getting something done, for powering through, so to speak. We want to have patience and diligence during this transit. Focus on your emotional needs because Mars retrograde in Cancer really wants us to mother ourselves, to take the very best care that we can of our own inner child. If someone else challenges you during this time, boundaries will likely be very important. And this is also a good time to release frustration and anger in healthy ways. My favorite is tapping, but I also love dancing, singing, lots of different ways you can do it. But what I notice when I'm coaching clients is that releasing anger is often something that we put on the back burner. We don't want to go there. This transit is saying, let it go, lighten your load. Another quite significant transit of this month. On January 18th, Venus in Pisces is going to conjoin Saturn in Pisces. We will likely feel this between the 17th of January and the 21st. This is the first of 3 conjunctions that Venus and Saturn are going to make because Venus is going to go retrograde in March. And even though we tend to think of Saturn as the harsh taskmaster, the restrictor, the one that says no, all of that, the truth is that Venus conjunct Saturn can be quite solidifying in a foundational way. It can help us to reach agreement with someone on something. It wants us to commit. And this could be a commitment to a project, a relationship, a plan, some sort of agreement that is going to be related to something that is long-term, sustainable, and that will support you for some time. However, Saturn with Venus can feel emotionally heavy. And sometimes it makes us feel isolated or unsupported. So because this is the first pass of Venus coming together with Saturn, and there are going to be 3, pay attention around this January 18th to the 21st time. Pay attention to what's coming up for you. Venus rules money, pleasure, love, relationships, beauty, creativity. Notice what's coming up for you around this time when we have a Venus retrograde, which we'll have in March. Well, we can feel tested. We can feel tested in any of these areas. And because Venus is in Pisces and Saturn too, the question might be, is this worth my effort or time? Do I want to commit to this? Is this what my heart really wants? We're talking Pisces energy, so usually there's some element of sacrifice. But the question is it a healthy sacrifice? Is it one I want to make? Now, also around this time, Mercury in Capricorn is going to make a sextile to Venus in Pisces. I love this energy. It's very, very supportive. It means that we can talk out any questions or concerns that we have around this commitment that we may be thinking about making. Not only this, but the Sun in Capricorn is going to make a sextile to Neptune, and Neptune is helping us with a creative vision or with a romance or with anything that we are thinking about doing that lights us up in this Pisces area of our chart. This is also a really good time for getting professional support, especially if you feel like someone has gone cold on you, which can happen with the Venus-Saturn conjunction that I just spoke about that's happening around the same time. This is a really good time to reach out for support if you need it. But remember, the sextiles that are going on at the same time may bring a new opportunity or a workaround or some sort of solution that feels perfectly timed. The last third of the month, the energy is going to shift. Why do I say this? Because on January 19th, the Sun is going to enter Aquarius. So happy birthday to all of our Aquarius friends. Aquarian energy is co-ruled by Uranus, and Uranus picks up the pace. It accelerates things. It's an electrical energy. I think if we felt a bit waterlogged with all of the water energy, Mars retrograde in Cancer, Venus in Pisces, the nodes moving into Pisces and Virgo, if we felt a little bit like we've been swimming around in the ocean, the Sun entering Aquarius, I feel is going to bring some spark and sparkle, and it's air energy. Air energy tends to be social. It's also the cosmic intelligence, your genius, your brilliance, highly, highly creative. This is going to be a creative month with all the energy in Pisces and the energy in Aquarius. This is going to be a highly creative month for a lot of us. On January 21st, really almost as soon as the Sun enters Aquarius, which happens on the 19th, it's going to make a conjunction to Pluto in Aquarius because Pluto in Aquarius is at 1 degree now. The Sun conjunct Pluto, keep in mind that they are on the same page. When you have 2 planets coming together in the same sign, they want to work together. So this could be you making a power move, so to speak. This can be revelations. This can be you taking empowering action. It could feel like there's a lot of forward momentum because Pluto is also passion. On January 23rd, Mars retrograde in Cancer is going to sextile Uranus in Taurus. Lots of sextiles I've talked about so far, right? Sextiles, again, they're opportunities, they're innovative solutions. Uranus wants us to be inventive in some way, to open up our minds to other possibilities. This could be Mars, which is the planet of action. Yes, it's retrograde. Still, we often take actions, especially those that are fated or feel destined in some way. This could feel like an unexpected happy miracle because Uranus energy is often unexpected. And at the very least, it's some sort of inspiration that if you act on it, it breaks you out of a rut. On the same day, Mercury will oppose Mars retrograde in Cancer. And so your sense of emotional well-being or something that you are emotionally attached to could be challenged by another person through some sort of conversation or an email or communication. Keep in mind, something that I like to remember for myself, that if I get one of those communications that throws me off balance, that is disappointing in some way, rejection is God's protection. What I love is that at the same time that Mercury opposes Mars, Mercury is going to trine Uranus and Taurus. So yay, this is a yay. Why? Because a Mercury trine to Uranus is showing us an alternative. It's another opportunity, maybe one that we weren't expecting. And so if something unexpected or disruptive happens, or what you wanted falls apart, with this trine from Mercury to Uranus, I think something better is showing up. Remember to ask for divine help, to put yourself in that vibration of okay, if it's not this, then what is it? Connect to your guides so that you can open up to whatever the universe is directing you to instead. January 25th, Venus in Pisces is going to make a trine to Mars retrograde in Cancer. Venus and Mars trining is so lovely. It's really lovely. This is creativity. This is a romantic blessing. Internally, it is the inner masculine coming together with the inner feminine, both in water signs. I just feel like this is going to be a lovely transit. You could feel it on the 24th all the way to the 26th. This might be a really lovely time to plan something special. Great time for a date or any kind of romantic liaison. And the very next day, Venus in Pisces is going to make a sextile to Uranus. So this could be a light bulb moment, but this could also be something coming together for you. Some sort of, again, happy, unexpected miracle, a new opportunity. Venus-Uranus sextiles are really feel-good moments because Venus is connected to money, love, beauty, and pleasure, and Uranus and Taurus is something tangible, something we can touch and feel, and it's that sensuality of Taurus energy. So this time between the 25th and the 27th could just feel like a bright spot in the month that you weren't expecting. On January 27th, Mercury is going to change signs. So Mercury is going to be in 3 different signs this month. And this is important to note because Mercury rules our thinking. And when it goes from Sagittarius, a fire sign, to Capricorn, an earth sign, to Aquarius, an air sign, and a fixed sign at that, we're going to feel these shifts in our thinking. January 27th, when it enters Aquarius, you may feel like you want to branch out. Aquarius energy is connected to the 11th house, and this is our friendships, our networks, it is our communities, it is alliances. Not just our support groups, but it's also the world card in the tarot, our hopes, wishes, and dreams, and our long-term financial gains. So if you need some sort of support around a dream, around a plan, maybe some new horizon that you want to embark on, this is a time to reach out for that support with Mercury entering Aquarius. And just as the Sun entering Aquarius made an immediate conjunction with Pluto, Mercury entering Aquarius will also make an immediate conjunction with Pluto as well. So if you have any sort of obsessive thinking going on or a dark fear coming up, this is the time to feel into the energy, to breathe through it, to tap through it, to release it. Because it's a conjunction, you may not feel that at all. Instead, you may just feel really empowered. You may be having a lot of conversations, but it's Mercury, so it's our thoughts, and our thoughts can be a bad neighborhood, right? The mind can be a bad neighborhood. A good time to talk through anything that feels off for you or feels dark or super uncomfortable. One of my favorite transits of the month is January 29th and 30th, depending on your time zone. We're going to have a new moon in Aquarius at 9 degrees. If you have planets or points between 5 and 13 degrees of the fixed signs, Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, or Taurus, you will feel this new moon most intensely. I love this new moon because it's going to trine Jupiter in Gemini. So we have Jupiter's air and the air of Aquarius, and both are social signs. this new moon could feel quite expansive. It's very supportive of a rebirth, of a new spiritual identity, seeing yourself with new eyes. And finally, on January 30th, just after the new moon, the co-ruler of the new moon, Uranus, is going to turn direct at 23 degrees of Taurus. So if you have planets or points between 20 and 25 degrees of the fixed signs, that is Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, or Scorpio, you may have some sort of jolt or disruption or sudden awakening. It could be breakdown, breakthrough. Whatever it is, it wants to free and liberate you. It wants to break you out of a rut or any sense of stagnation, or it will course correct you and put you on a new path and infuse some wonderful new life, new fresh air. I think all of us are going to feel this new moon in Aquarius and Uranus direct as new momentum, a readiness, an eagerness, perhaps even to say yes to this new territory, new path of 2025. So let's do the 12 sign readings now. Listen to your rising sign. This is the area of life in which you will be experiencing the transits that I'm going to share with you in your readings based on the whole sign house system. Listen to your sun and moon sign for further themes that you may experience, as well as intuitive messages. And if you have planets or points in other signs, you can listen to the readings for those signs as well. They will also give you themes that may very well resonate with you. So let's start with Cancer, because beautiful Cancer, Mars is going to retrograde in your sign. And I have my moon and rising in Cancer for those of you who are new to the channel. So if you're Cancer rising, you're going to experience the Mars retrograde in your sign in your first house of identity. This is your appearance, it's your body, your vitality, your look. And in the first house, we often feel more assertive during a Mars retrograde. Why? Because, well, during any Mars transit in our first house, Mars is conjunct your rising and or any planets that you may have in the first house. And Mars conjoining a planet can bring added energy. It can make us more brave. It can have us step out and advocate for ourselves because Mars is the warrior. Now in Cancer, and you know this well, Cancer, you are very devoted and attached to the people that you love, the projects, anything to do with career or your home, anything that you put energy into, that you are emotionally connected to. You give that your all, Cancer. And this is important to keep in mind for a Mars retrograde, because what does this Mars retrograde want us to do? It wants us to be really discerning with ourselves about where we're putting our energy. Is it still how we want to be using our time? Is what we're putting into something being reciprocated? So you could feel this because it's your first house, and the first house is your identity, which is any role that you play personally or professionally, at work or at home and so forth. You could feel this in any area of your life. You could feel it in your fourth house of home. You could feel it in your, like I said, your business life, at work. You could feel it in any committed relationship, whether it's a friendship or a business partner or a romantic partner. In other words, beautiful Cancer, you could feel it in any or all of these areas. So it's a pretty big transit for you. It doesn't have to be difficult. It could be because you're very much attuned to home. You could feel yourself called back to a home that you used to live in. You could feel yourself called back to a relationship. You could feel yourself just drawn to something from your past, exercise that you used to do that you've stopped doing, anything fun. Like I love rollerblading. I haven't done that in a long time. In fact, my grandchildren just got a trampoline, and we used to have a trampoline for our kids, and I used to love doing that with my kids. So like, I'm super excited about getting on that trampoline too. So you get the idea, like you could just be pulled back to something. And because Cancers tend to be nostalgic, don't be surprised if you're extra nostalgic during this time. Venus in Pisces is going to make a trine to your energy. And this is really beautiful. I love Venus and Pisces anyway, but with your Cancer energy, it's gorgeous. It's happening for you in your 9th house of expansion. So this is Venus is what we love. Don't be surprised, Cancer, if during this month you feel very drawn to long distance travel. Maybe you start exploring some foreign destinations. You could think about moving to another country. This is also your spiritual belief system. It's going to be expansive for you. It's going to be awakening for you. You're going to feel, I think, a new sense of spark around a new horizon. You need an adventure, I have to say. I know that's like kind of bossy of me. I know you need an adventure, but I think a lot of Cancers are going to be like, yeah, you're going to be ready to explore. If not a new adventure in terms of travel, I would say something that is going to expand you in some way, some sort of learning program, a degree program, a certification program, whether it's metaphysical or spiritual, or just makes you feel expanded in some way. Mercury in Capricorn is going to be transiting your 7th house of partners, whether this is business or personal or romantic or best friendship. So you're going to probably find you're having more conversations with people that are important to you in your life this month. And then the full moon in your sign, Cancer, is happening at 23 degrees. So if you have planets or points around that 23-degree point, you're really going to feel this full moon. It's happening in your 1st house. Again, we're same place that Mars retrograde is happening. Your house of you, your house of identity. So something could come to fruition for you during this time. Full moons are not just endings and culminations and something closing out. They're also often some sort of manifestation. And because it's your 1st house, it's anything that you identify with, any role, the way you see yourself, your self-image. And it could also be a relationship. A relationship could be beginning or ending during this full moon. It trines Neptune, which I absolutely love. This is Neptune is transiting your 9th house of faith and expansion. So you could have a deepening of faith during this time. If anything, what I see for you is a sense of, I think this full moon will be intense for you. I think it could be an intense loveliness. It could be romantic. There's no question. But when I tune into your energy, what the affirmation that I got for you is that I can have a deeply satisfying, intimate relationship with myself, with the divine, or with somebody that I feel trust in. Perhaps there's a deepening of trust for you during this full moon. Perhaps you realize that you have deepened your self-trust and that is making you more brave in relationships. The hardest thing for Cancers is not to feel reciprocated in love or in anything that they're attached to. That's the hardest part of the Cancer journey. It's often connected to the mother line or to ancestral healing. Cancers have come a long way, especially having gone through that opposition of Pluto to any of your planets or points in Cancer. So you are in a rebirthing phase. If you haven't felt it already, you're in that phase, Cancer. And I think this full moon may really show you how far you've come and feel like something to celebrate. So let me now pull a card for you and let us see what the cards have to say for you, beautiful Cancer. Cancer. Your card is lie back, rest, and relax. This card wants you to tune into the spirituality that is sort of beyond this earthly realm, watching clouds. It wants you to see there's an awakening. I'm not surprised. There's an awakening that is on offer for Cancers. Venus and Pisces transiting your 9th house of awakening. Neptune also in that 9th house, giving you a boost of new faith, expanding your faith during the full moon. Some of you, I think, are going to go to the next level of your awakening this month. So take some time out, beautiful Cancer. Take some time out to just be, to just notice the clouds, be in nature, taking care of your heart. I mean, with Mars retrograde here, it is a really important time to not push forward too hard on anything. Not a good time to double down, even though sometimes we are really guided to do that if we're not feeling like we're getting back enough. from our efforts. We sometimes want to double down, but Mars retrograde says, let things be as they are to the extent that you can. Allow an opening, a spiritual opening, awakening, expansion to happen. Beautiful Cancer, if you resonate with this, let me know. The card or the message of the transits, let me know in the comments below. Gemini, hello, beautiful Gemini. Gemini, you have had the experience, many of you, of the mutable T-square, Mercury opposing Jupiter in Gemini, Mercury in Sag during the Mercury retrograde, opposing Jupiter and squaring Saturn in Pisces, and Jupiter's been squaring Saturn off and on for quite some time now. So I really want to let you know that that square between Jupiter and Saturn and the Mercury energy, even after Mercury turned direct in Sag, it was still bringing annoying mercurial glitches, at least in my own experience as a Gemini sun. And I want you to know that that is letting up by the first week in January. Now the Mars, and that's great news. Like if you felt pressured, if you felt overwhelmed, if you just felt like everything was so tight and you had too much on your plate and whatever, things coming up that were annoying you didn't want to deal with, I get all of that, and that's ending. Mars is retrograding in Cancer in your second house. This is your house of earned income, self-worth, deserving, and values. This retrograde wants you to really take stock of your material security and the money you make and how you're making money and all of that, and just to assess it, just to ask yourself, am I valuing myself enough? Am I happy with the flow of money or security in my life? Are there any changes that I want to make? For some of you, this will bring up taxes, loans, debts, assets, all of those things as well. You have a real focus here with Mars transiting your second house on your financial well-being, in other words. The North Node is entering into Pisces on January 11th, and this is going to be happening in your 10th house of career. The North Node in the 10th house is saying, focus here. New territory is happening for you in your 10th house of career. For some of you, this is life purpose expressed. It may not be a career. It could be volunteer work. It could be retirement for some of you. I know it's different for everyone, but this is the house of vocation. It's the house of where we want to spend our time. Because the South Node will be in Virgo, and that will be transiting your fourth house of home, you could feel a call of your soul in either direction, career or home, or how do I balance both of these? Any new beginning that you want to have could be coming up for you. I have a whole video for you on this transit, so I will link to that in the description box below. But with the South Node in Virgo, Gemini transiting your fourth house of home, you're letting go of the shadow side of Virgo, which is too much, working too hard to get something right or perfect, or, just too much focus on helping others, perhaps serving others. Perhaps this is a family member or family members. There's some loosening that's happening for you or wants to happen for you in your fourth house of home and family. More focus on your own well-being. Big picture, there's a new soul trajectory. There's moving into new territory for you that's happening on your 10th and 4th house axis: career, vocation, passion, and home and family. So you could be thinking about a move. You could be thinking about a career move. Because the North Node is going to square your energy, Gemini, you're going to feel, when it does get to any planets or points in your sign, you will feel a sense of, I've got to make a change. This will be for you, very possibly, a life-changing decision that you end up making anytime over the 18 months between January of this year, 2025, and mid-2026. It will depend on when the North and South Node activate your Gemini energy. Venus this month, back to this month, Venus is going to conjoin Saturn, also in your 10th house of career. So this is either something having to do with how you spend your time, your career, your work, and so forth, what you're passionate about. Doesn't have to be your job and passion. They're not always the same. I get that. But because Venus and Saturn are conjoining, there is a sense of a new commitment here, a new agreement, a new decision to commit to something, or it's an ending. It's something that you're letting go. At the end of the month, Mercury is going to enter Aquarius, and we're going to have a new moon in Aquarius. And you're going to love this, Gemini. You're going to love it because it's going to be in your 9th house, which is the house of awakening and expansion, new adventures. It's the house of new horizons. I think a lot of gems are going to be thinking about travel because that is the 9th house. The 9th house is long distance travel, but it's also publishing. So for you, it could be something that you want to publish, whether it's a book or a video or a show or a song, whatever it is for you. But I think it's going to feel like a really gorgeous breath of fresh air for you. So beautiful, Gemini. Let me shuffle the cards and let's see what the cards have to say for your month of January 2025. I get the chills when I say 2025, which I love so much. And remember, Gemini, Uranus is moving into your sign this year, and that is big change, new openings in the brain. That is new neural pathways forming. That is breakthrough. So I'm super, as a Gemini and someone with 3 planets in Gemini, I have to say I'm pretty stoked. What era was stoked from? I don't know. It was my teenage years. I'm pretty stoked about this transit. Growing up in California, yeah, stoked was a big word. Okay. Gems. Your card is reaching your destination, Gemini. Your light is shining brightly. Check it out. Do you want to move to a new home? I'm asking you that because of the castle. Also, the eclipse energy. This reminds me of eclipse energy surrounding the house. Pay attention to the eclipses that are happening in March because you may have a dream come true during this time. You may reach your destination. The bubbles or light orbs, the sort of yellow brick road to your destination here. This is a really beautiful message that your light is shining brightly. And also what I'm getting is like connect to, visualize what you most want and really connect to the feeling of that and let that move your energy to the frequency of what you most desire so that you reach your destination, which is happening anyway. Beautiful, Gemini. If you resonate with this message, with this reading, let me know. Leave me a comment. I'd love to hear. Taurus. Hello, beautiful Taurus. Taurus, you are going to have a productive month. That's the theme for you for this month. It's going to be productive. Why do I say this? Well, first of all, Mars retrograde in Cancer is happening in your 3rd house of communication, your local environment, your networking with people that you see on a regular basis. If you are a freelancer, you have your own business, this is also the house of any business transactions that you make. Money changing hands, so to speak, your sales. This is also a website, teaching, learning, conversations with anyone, but especially siblings, aunts, uncles, and cousins. They all fall in this house, the house of soul sisters and soul brothers. Something could definitely be up for you right now with a business, with a relationship with a landlord or a tenant. Mars retrograde wants you to look at how you're using your energy. Do you still want to stay in the location you're in, whether it's a work location, like where you have an office, for example? Also, your technology, you could be looking at that during this time. You could be looking at a car. Do you want to keep the car you have if you have a car, or sell it? This is the house of buying and selling, everyday things. So Mars retrograde here is asking you to look at how you're using your energy. Are you still inspired? You still feel passionate about the things you do in all of these different realms that I'm talking about? Some of you may heal a relationship with an aunt, uncle, cousin, sibling, or neighbor, or someone that you see on a regular basis. The full moon in Cancer is also happening in your 3rd house. It's on the 3rd and 9th house axis because the sun will be in your 9th house, and you're getting a sextile from this full moon, which is quite lovely. I will do a separate video with readings for all 12 signs, a deeper dive, but I'll say for now that you could feel quite expanded during this new moon, or full moon, sorry. You could feel quite expanded. You could get a realization. something you didn't see before. And because both the sun and Mercury will be in Capricorn during this full moon in your ninth house, you could take on some sort of learning, some sort of degree program, or you could graduate from something. You could publish something. I think this is going to be a really beautiful full moon, which could also bring you an opportunity, something solved, a workaround, something that feels like you're getting a new beginning, and it's tangible and it's emotionally satisfying and nurturing. Venus in Pisces this month, Venus moving into Pisces, also great for your energy, Taurus, because it sextiles your energy too. So a lot of the transits you can see are making really nice, harmonizing transits to your energy, wherever you have planets or points in your sign. Venus will make a conjunction to Saturn, so you may find yourself in the house of friendships, alliances, support groups, hopes, wishes, and dreams, long-term financial gains. You could find yourself making some sort of commitment to a friend, to a social media platform, to some sort of project or a dream that you have, the current dream of your life. And finally, the new moon in Aquarius that is happening at the end of this month is going to happen in your 10th house of career. It is going to make a square to your energy. So career is definitely going to be up for you in terms of new moons are where we're reflecting on what we want next. And I think you're going to make some sort of change in your career, or you're going to be taking an action that feels important to you, because Jupiter, which is making a trine to this new moon, it's making a trine to the new moon, but it's going to be in your second house of income and self-worth and deserving. So maybe you're up leveling or realizing you need to enhance your own worthiness, your own sense of deserving, in order for this new action that you want to take in your career to bear fruit. Beautiful Taurus. Okay, let me pull a card for you now and see what the cards have to say. For you, beautiful Taurus, let's see what your message is. Your message is, beneath the surface lies great bounty, uncovering treasure. First of all, I see some playfulness with the dragon. I see a sense of like taking you back to childlike curiosity. There's treasure here. There's abundance here for you, Taurus, but also there's something beneath the surface that you haven't seen yet that this month wants to show you. And what's coming up for me is a transit I mentioned in the first part of the video for everyone, but not for you specifically. And that is that we do have a lot of energy when the sun goes into Aquarius and it conjoins Pluto, and when Mercury goes into Aquarius and conjoins Pluto, that makes a square. Both of those transits will make a square to your energy. And that's where you could have a light bulb moment. That's when you can have something showing up for you that you didn't see before. And also when Uranus goes direct, Uranus is in your sign when it goes direct at 23 degrees. If you have planets or points around that 23-degree point in your sign, that can also be a time when we have some sort of breakthrough, some sort of epiphany, some sort of uncovering treasure that we didn't see before. So this is really beautiful, Taurus. If you would like to claim your treasure, claim a realization, let us know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Aries. Hello, beautiful Aries. Aries, you, I believe, are going to make an important decision this month. Let's go through your transits, and I think you'll see why. Now, the month begins with you, for you, with Mars retrograde in Leo, which makes a trine to your energy. It's retrograde. You are thinking about, discerning, deliberating about something that has to do with romance, creativity, or children, creative expression, your own inner child. And this Mars retrograde, Aries, is making a trine to the North Node of Destiny in your sign. The North Node of Destiny in your sign has been going on since July of 2023. It's happening the North Node is in your first house of identity. This is a role or how you use your energy or your physical body. The North Node's been working with your energy for a while, right? Almost 18 months now. And making a trine to Mars retrograde, Aries, you're ruled by Mars. You feel the Mars retrogrades. And because Mars is retrograde in your house of pleasure, comfort, joy, romance, all those juicy things, I think that this North Node finishing out in your sign and at the 0 degree point where it will trine may bring you to some realization, may spark your inspiration, may show you something that you want to create or something that has to do with a child or has to do with a lover or a dating relationship. So I love that for you. And Mars is going to retrograde in Cancer. So it's right now, it's in your 5th house. It's going to move back to your 4th house of home and family. You will feel this. Why? Because we feel 4th house transits because they're the bottom of our chart and they have to do with our roots. They have to do with our sense of security, emotional security. That's home and family. So you may be asking, where do I want to live? Do I need to move? Do I want to move? You may be experiencing a blast from the past, from your childhood, from a past life. You may be releasing a layer of conditioning. You may be deciding that something needs to change in your family situation with a family member or in your home. You want you want your home to feel like a sanctuary, and it may not yet, or it may be like there's something you need to fix or change or course correct in how you're using your energy having to do with home and family. And because Mars will be in your 4th house, you may feel this in career because that's the 10th house opposite your 4th house. The Sun and Mercury entering into Aquarius towards the end of the month. January 19th is when the Sun will move into Aquarius, and then Mercury will follow later in the month. But these transits are happening for you in your 11th house. And this is also where we're going to have the new moon in Aquarius, all in the 11th house of the world is your oyster. A new beginning, perhaps, for you in friendships, in tribe, in communities, in just you knowing that you're supported, that you have alliances, that you have the support you need for a dream or for long-term financial gains. All of this Aquarian energy from Mercury, from the Sun, is air to your fire, Aries. This is really beautiful for you. You really can burn brighter when you have air energy stoking your fire. And that's what the new moon is going to do. It's also going to trine Jupiter and Gemini. That's more air to your fire. So I feel that from January 19th on, when the Sun enters Aquarius, and then we, have the new moon and so forth, that this is going to be a really expansive last third of the month for you. And then Aries, we're also going to have Uranus, which is the co-ruler of the new moon, shifting into direct motion. And for you, Uranus is going to be in your 2nd house of money, self-worth, values, material security. Well, Uranus is already there. It's not moving there. It's turning direct there. So this could be a new opportunity that's going to enhance your money or your material security. Aries, let us see. We feel Uranus when it turns direct. We feel it. Often there's some development, but only if you have planets or points that are making an aspect to the Uranus energy at 23 degrees of Taurus. Planets or points in your natal chart, which I could share with you in an astrology reading, of course. Okay, so let's see now, a private reading. These are general readings, but you're aware of that, Aries. Let me pull a card for you now. Your card is First Light, beginning a new cycle. Aries, I feel like this card is so you. Why? You're the first sign of the zodiac. You are a light. You are a pioneer. You are somebody who rises to the occasion. You love a challenge. You love new beginnings. You probably, if you have strong Aries energy in your chart, you probably are really excited for 2025. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know, Aries. You are going to have Saturn and Neptune move into your sign. Yes, Saturn can be a bit of a taskmaster. I agree. I mean, if you're thinking that. Neptune moving into your sign, that's visionary. And you are a visionary in your own right, Aries. So this is asking you to claim the truth of who you are. Claim that you are the light. Know that you're beginning a brand new cycle. What do you want? What does your heart desire in this brand new cycle? Mars in Leo is going to make its last pass to the North Node of Destiny in your sign, Aries. What is calling to your heart? Leave me a comment. I would love to hear. Life is calling you forward. Pisces, hello, beautiful Pisces. Pisces, you really are going to feel this month. I am so excited for you because the North Node is entering your sign, Pisces. This is a really big deal. If you haven't watched my video where I do the deep dive on this transit, please go watch that because I talk about just everything that you need to know about the North Node in your sign. Now, the last time this happened was late June of 2006 through December of 2007. So leave me a comment. Let me know what happened for you during that time if you'd like to share. The South Node is going to be in your 7th house, and this is where you may be releasing the shadow qualities of Virgo energy, which is where we can be hard on ourselves or others, where we can expect an ideal that doesn't come to pass, and that can be disappointing. I think you're going to experience that energy in a relationship dynamic, and that will be quite healing for you. The North Node in your sign, Pisces, in your 1st house, if you're Pisces rising, is really calling you forward into a new role, business or personal. It's calling you forward into a new sense of self. It is really, I'm getting all these chills in the back of my heart when I'm talking about it. It is so expansive for you. And when it touches your degree point, Pisces, of your rising sign, or if you have other planets there in your 1st house, say you had your moon there, your Mars there, or so forth, Venus there, that's when we often get some sort of activation and we're moved to take an action, or something happens in our life that feels fated or destined. Now, Mars retrograde in Cancer. It's been in Leo. It's going to move into Cancer in your 5th house. This is a lovely house, of course. Well, I say of course because I love the 5th house. It's my favorite house in the zodiac. It's the house of love, romance, children, creative expression. It's the house of freedom and adventure, pleasures and comforts, and so on. Mars retrograde here is having you assess any of these areas of your life. If you're a parent, you could be assessing your parenting style. If you work with children, same thing, how you work with children. If you are dating someone, or maybe you haven't had enough romance in your life, you could be looking at that. Romance can happen in a lot of different ways, right? Pisces, you're super creative. You could be romancing yourself with beauty in your home or wherever, however you romance yourself, taking walks in nature, spending time in water if that's available to you. This is the house of your inner child delight, inner child delight, Pisces. So this is, with Mars here, we are reassessing or discerning how we want to use our energy. And you could be really looking for ways to feel inspired. This is a time to find a muse, whether it's a person or, what is your muse? What is your muse? To start giving that energy. If you create in your life, in your work, like maybe during this transit, you do some other things that have no pressure attached to them, but that infuse you with creativity. And I'm thinking of things, I was never trained as a visual artist. I'm more of a writer. I love to dance, but I wasn't trained in visual arts, but I love getting pastels and just moving the color around on the page. I love playing with watercolors. So I'm thinking of those things, like whatever you do that is just no pressure. You don't have to be good at it. It's process art. That's the word, process art. I have a background as an expressive arts therapist as well. So anything to do with process, art is healing, would be really good for you during this Mars retrograde in Cancer, because something is gestating for you or developing on an inner level for you in terms of how you want to be using your creativity, how you want to be in love, whether you want to have a lover or not, and then the role of children in your life. And I know we don't all have children in in our lives, but obviously I'm talking to a lot of people here. So Venus in your sign this month, Pisces. I love this for you so much. Venus in your sign. I mean, Venus is already wonderful energy in your sign. It's like doubly amplified for you. It is going to make a conjunction to Saturn. I speak at length about this in the first part of this video, so I won't repeat myself, but I will say that there will be 3 passes, and this is a time to be thinking about what are you committed to, committing to yourself in your first house of a role that you play. You're going to be thinking about when Venus conjoins Saturn, you're going to be making some sort of commitment or letting go of a commitment, most likely. And that could be to a project, to a person. You could be clarifying your purpose. My message for you right now is about protecting your time, protecting your passions, protecting your energy. And when I use the word protect, I just mean it's about boundaries a lot of the time. Just not abandoning yourself, in other words. The full moon in Cancer. Another beautiful transit for you, because this lunation is going to be in your 5th house, which I just spoke about with Mars, same place that Mars is retrograding, and it's going to trine your energy. Cancer's water to your water. There's a real simpatico between Cancer and Pisces energy because you're both water signs. You both have a very deep heart. You both have a devotional quality to you, a desire to serve, a desire to love, and you both attach. You both merge your energy. That's what water energy does. It merges with the water of the other. And that can be sublime and ecstatic and also disappointing, right? We know this, right, Pisces? But the full moon in Cancer, because it is going to trine Neptune, and Neptune is in your sign, I think it's going to be really beautiful for you for creativity, children, and romance. And lastly, Pisces, the new moon in Aquarius at the end of this month is going to be happening in your 12th house of rest and retreat. I'll do a separate video for you on that new moon. That new moon is also getting a trine from Jupiter, so it's beautiful and expansive. You could have some sort of realization, awakening, some sort of spiritual expansion kind of feeling happen for you during that new moon. It's a new moon to be activating your inner mystic, let's say that. The joy of living in the other realms. You're very familiar with 12th house energy, whether you have planets or points there or not, because you rule your energy. Pisces rules the 12th house. So often Pisces, you're more comfortable in the other realm, the spiritual realm, than you are in this realm. Leave me a comment. Let me know if that's true. I have in my own chart, I have a stellium and Gemini in the 12th house. So I am very much comfortable in the other, more comfortable in the other realms than this earthly realm. The words are all jumbling in my mouth. Oh, okay. So I'm shuffling for you, Pisces. Let us see what the cards have to say for you. Pisces. You are a wise leader. You are a beacon for others. You are being called into leadership in some way. Beautiful Pisces, it doesn't mean you have to do whatever you think of as leadership. A lot of people, they don't want that. You can be a wise leader just by shining your light. And you are a wise leader just by shining your light. You have grown, you have moved through a lot. And by the way, I forgot to mention that mutable T-square that the mutable signs felt was very intense in August. It came back in December, around the holidays, all of that. If you felt like it was crunch time, if you felt like you were squeezed or overwhelmed or any of that, just know that we should not be feeling it at all by mid-January. But with the full moon in Cancer, it happens in your 5th house, but the sun in Capricorn will be in your 11th house. And that's often where we have some sort of presence, where we have a social media following or where we're putting ourselves out into the world. This card could be referring to that. Could be referring to, especially because Mars is retrograde in the 5th house, which is across from your 11th house. It's asking you with that on that axis, it may be asking you, how do you want to put whatever your creative gifts are, how do you want to put them out into the world? And what this card is really affirming is the truth that however you do what you do, your light shines, you're a beacon for others. So know that this is true about you, Pisces. It is a lot to celebrate, and this card really wants to acknowledge your wisdom. You've come a long way. You're a wise beacon for others, beautiful Pisces. Aquarius, Aquarius, beautiful Aquarius. Happy, happy birthday. January 19th, the sun moves into your sign. I hope you have the most beautiful birthday. I'm so excited for your season. I think we're going to have an acceleration of energy. As the sun conjuncts Pluto, number one, I think that for you could feel like a coming alive again, a rebirth for you, which would be really beautiful. Before that, before the sun enters your sign, Mars retrograde in Leo is going to make an opposition to your energy, especially if you have planets or points in the very early degrees of your sign. This is happening in your 7th house, and it is going to move on. It's the very last pass of this energy. We're mostly going to feel it the first week of January, but if you have planets or points in your sign, Aquarius, between 0 and 6 degrees, especially 0 to 3 degrees, you may feel this or you have been really feeling it. And I want to say, and of course, if you have planets or points from 0 to 1 or 2 degrees in your sign, Aquarius, you're having a Pluto transit. And Pluto transits can be super empowering. They can feel like you're on top of the world and you're just like getting all these opportunities. It's a conjunction. So it can either feel incredibly enlivening and empowering to you, or it can feel really difficult because of the dark fears and weird things that can happen during a Pluto transit. So that's different for all of you, but I wanted to acknowledge that. Mars is going to retrograde back into the sign of Cancer, which has to do with home and family. I talk more about that in the first part of this video. For you, you're going to experience that in your 6th house, and that's your 6th house of daily habits, work, your coworkers, a boss. This could be your health routines. You could be thinking about, do I want to change the way that I operate in any of these areas of my life? It has to do with your schedules, your lifestyle, whether you feel flexible enough, whether you have enough freedom, all those things. Aquarius, you need freedom. You're very independent. A lot of you already work on your own. You're freelancers. You have your own business. You, at the very least, I know that a lot of you work from home. Aquarians really do need you need to call your own shots, Aquarius. You do. So with Mars retrograding here, it's really having you look at your daily life and what's working for you and what isn't. This is where you'll be most likely making a decision, especially because the full moon is also going to be in your 6th house. It's on your 6th and 12th house axis because the sun will be in your 12th house. And this is going to be, for a lot of you, a focus on your spiritual, emotional, mental well-being. And you may be especially alerted to anything in 6th house matters, which could be a toxic work situation or a habit, an addiction, and so forth that is, that's important for you to let go of, leave behind, and free yourself from. That could be an awareness that you have during this Cancer full moon. At the end of the month, Mercury is going to enter your sign, and that will be transiting your 1st house of identity. Lots of conversations will be going on, both on your internal level, I'm sure, and with others. And the new moon is also going to be in your sign, Aquarius. I think you're going to love this new moon. It makes a trine to Jupiter in Gemini. I think it's going to feel like a fresh breeze blowing in for you. This is happening in your house of identity. This is something you could feel in your physical body. It's a new beginning. So it's like, what roles do you want to play? Do you want to change a role? Do you want to start a new job? Do you want to leave a job? Do you want to start a new career? 1st house new moons are all about you. They're all about any choices or decisions that you have to make. And Jupiter in Gemini for you is happening in your 5th house of your creativity. So you may be making a decision around this new moon that will allow you to feel more creatively sparked. And lastly, Aquarius, Uranus is going to turn direct in Taurus, which is you're going to feel this in your 4th house of home and family, your roots. This can be a cleansing, a release of childhood conditioning. This is for you with Uranus in your 4th house. I think a lot of you have probably already moved if you have planets or points around the 23rd degree, or someone could have moved out of your house. Something in your home environment has changed or will change, especially if you have planets or points around the 23-degree point where Uranus is now going to be shifting into direct motion. It does make a square to your energy, Aquarius, so there is probably some action that you will be taking to feel more secure in your home or in your family or in your sense of self, more rooted, if, again, you have planets or points around this 23-degree mark. If not, it could just be like, okay, a sense of momentum in these 4th house areas for you. Okay, so Aquarius, I'm shuffling for you now. I'm shuffling. I know I'm being silly, Aquarius. I need to be silly sometimes. I have to infuse some lightness. You're an air sign. I'm a Gemini air sign. You get it. I think you get it. Okay, Aquarius. Your card is, ooh, Aquarius, wondrous universe, walk in beauty. There you are, the wizard. There is your energy. I love this so much. This is so cool. What I love about this image is there's Saturn too, your co-ruler. Wow. And then there's a full moon. Something that could be happening around this full moon in Cancer is going to make you feel like you are walking on air. It's going to make you feel like you are a magnificent co-creator, as you are, and that you have co-created some beautiful manifestation that could be coming into its full, happening on a tangible level for you around this full moon time. Beautiful, beautiful alchemy, magician-like energy. If you want to claim that you live in a wondrous universe, that you walk in beauty, or anything else you want to claim, beautiful Aquarius, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Capricorn, hello, beautiful Capricorn. Happy birthday to all of you beautiful Capricorn friends. I hope you've had a most beautiful birthday, or you will be having a most beautiful birthday if you are a later born Capricorn. This is your season until January 19th. The sun is in your sign, and you could be very busy these first 2.5 weeks of January, very busy with planning, with imagining what you want next, the next mountain you want to climb, new opportunities. You could be visioning. It could feel quite a productive time for you. Overall, what I see for you during this month is you really looking at your drive and motivation in relationships. Why do I say this? Well, first of all, Mercury is going to move into your sign early this month. That's going to be in your 1st house, which will make you feel perhaps more assertive, more productive, lots of communication, lots of emails and conversations. And because Mercury is going to be opposite Mars in Cancer, transiting your 7th house, so Mercury in your 1st house, Mars in Cancer in your 7th house, and they will be opposite each other. What that tells me is there's probably a lot going on, negotiating, perhaps talking about boundaries, perhaps just moving through some relationship dynamics. It can be great. It doesn't have to be anything that we would say is difficult or challenging. But Mars retrograde in Cancer in your 7th house, Capricorn, is where you are really thinking about how you use your energy, where you're inspired, where you're not inspired in the realm of partnerships, whether they are romantic or business or friendship. Any relationships in which you have an agreement, spoken or unspoken, to support one another. That's a 7th house relationship. Venus in Pisces makes a lovely harmonizing energy to your energy. It's a sextile. Sextiles are opportunities and solutions and workarounds. They are previous problems solved. And Venus in Pisces is transiting your 3rd house of communication. This is your local environment. This is all of the coffee dates you have and the meetups that you have with people any kind of networking that you do, whether it's business or for fun. And Venus and Pisces sextiling your energy, this really favors teaching and learning and writing and speaking and website work if you have your own website. This favors you putting something out into, for sale for some of you, like selling a service or selling products. It also favors the fun things that we do in a local way, like short trips, just going to work out at the gym or doing yoga or, running into people. Venus in the third house is really, really lovely for your everyday life. It's just really, I'm getting the chills now as I talk about this too right here. It's really, really lovely for unexpected conversation. I'm getting the term meet cute. Meet cute, where you just won't run into somebody and you have this like lovely little flirtatious conversation, or it doesn't have to be flirtatious, just something that adds a spark and aliveness to your day. The full moon in Cancer is going to be in your 7th house of partnerships. This is an important full moon for you. Why? Because it conjoins Mars. So that's about taking action. That's cutting ties or cutting cords or bringing a lot of new energy to something. So something is either getting infused with new life, a relationship, or you are cutting it out of your life. That's what I see for you. And that full moon is quite lovely. It does conjoin Mars, which can be tension, but and setting boundaries, but it also trines Neptune and Pisces, which can be something that takes you over the moon. Like it's out of this world lovely. It can be a connection for you, like it ends up being solid and long lasting. So Capricorn, let me now pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say. And I also love for you, Capricorn, that when Uranus stations direct, Uranus is in Taurus, it makes a trine to your energy. So you could have a happy unexpected miracle or something that happens for you when Uranus stations direct, especially if you have any planets or points in your sign around 23 degrees. Something really lovely could happen for you that you weren't planning on, that again puts another bounce in your step, that renews your hope and faith, and that just brings you more joy. So most of us could use more joy in our daily life. Let's see what the cards have to say for you, beautiful Capricorn. Your card is, you are protected by angels. You are cherished by the angels. What a beautiful card. Wow. This card is reminding you that you're not doing this life alone. This card is reminding you to call on your spiritual protection and source. It's reminding you to engage with your spiritual helpers. Capricorn, you can be very independent, stoic. I can do it myself. You are a self-starter. You are one of the cardinal signs. You are a builder. You are ambitious, many of you. But sometimes you can forget to ask for help. And I feel that this card is saying it's time to remember that you have helpers and that you do not have to do life alone. And because this angel is holding a sword, I feel that this also has to do, swords represent air and our thoughts and our thinking. And I feel like this also has to do with cutting away any thoughts of, I have to do this all by myself. I have to carry the load. Because Capricorns, when you were younger, you had to be responsible. You had to be responsible for a young age, from a young age, the vast majority of you. And that can feel quite heavy. It can feel like, when is my playtime? Where are my blessings? And so this card with the sword is saying, cut away any beliefs that you have that are making you feel that you have to always be the strong one. You don't. The angels can be strength for you. Beautiful. Capricorn, if you resonate with this, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Sagittarius, beautiful Sagittarius. Beautiful Sag. I didn't laugh on that one. Usually I laugh. I don't know why. Anyway, Sag, welcome to January 2025. You are one of the mutable signs that has been through it with Mercury retrograde in your sign, and then even in the post-shadow period, which we are in until January 3rd, we've had this mutable T-square with Mercury in Sag, opposing Jupiter in Gemini, and then Saturn in Pisces, squaring both of them. And that has not been easy. If you felt that, I just want to say, especially if you have planets or points in your sign in the middle degrees, you have felt that, and it could have made you feel stressed. Let's just say that, stressed. It happened over the holidays. It's going, like I said, until the beginning of January. And I just want you to know that that is ending. By the end of the first week of January, I think that's going to really lighten a lot. And by mid-January, we're done with that. So that's good news. Now, Sag. Mars is retrograding in Cancer in your 8th house. Your 8th house of financial assets, shared resources with others. This is emotional and sexual intimacy. So close partnerships also can be business partners and advisors. You may really find that you're thinking about finances a lot right now, working on your finances. And why? Because Mars retrograde in your 8th house also could be making transits to your 2nd house, and that's your money axis. You could be thinking about loans, paying them off. You could be taking out a loan. You could be thinking about taxes. You could be making a plan to divide shared resources if you're separating with someone, either professionally or personally. You get the idea. All of these things are going on for you. You could be thinking about your emotional investment in a relationship, or one especially where you have really given a lot, and thinking about, is this still... Mars transit in the 8th house is always transformational because it's the 8th house. The 8th house is power and control. Those are the themes, but also it kind of feels doubly transformative when Mars is in retrograde motion. You're reassessing, you're discerning, you're deliberating on the use of your energy in financial and relationship matters. Mars was retrograde and will be until January 6th in your 9th house, of expansion. So you have had your horizons expanded, or you've been thinking about expanding your horizons. You've been thinking about long distance travel. You've been thinking about your spiritual beliefs. And the reason I bring this transit up is because before it moves into Cancer in your 8th house, it's going to make a trine to the North Node in Aries, which at 0 degrees, which is the degree of unlimited potential. And the North Node in Aries is transiting your house of love and romance, children, and creativity. And the message I got for you on this, first of all, I love Mars retrograde in Leo because it trines your energy. And then this trine to the North Node in Aries also trines your energy. So is anything coming up for you in either this house of 9th house expansion and adventures and all of that, or your 5th house of love, romance, children, and creativity? Because this is a time to really say yes to your heart, to believe in yourself. This is the message that came through. Believe in yourself, Sag. Believe in yourself that you can co-create with the universe what your heart most wants. This is new soul territory, North Node in Aries, something that is challenging, but it lights you up, and you are really being called to say yes to it, a calling of your soul. The new moon in Aquarius and Mercury moving into Aquarius are both going to be happening for you in your 3rd house of your local environment. I think this is going to be a breath of fresh air for you. I think that you are going to love this because it sextiles Aquarius air energy. It sextiles your energy, Sag. And this is like new life. I feel that some of you are going to have an expansion of your social networks, or just a new friend, which is not a just, I know, Sag. And I also feel that you may feel this in freelancing, if you freelance in your work, siblings, neighbors, writing, teaching, speaking, a new website, perhaps, or writing a blog, perhaps, a short trip that you take. Something is going to inspire you during this new moon. You are really thinking about, some of you, about how you could create your own business, what you would sell, what product or service you would put out. That could be something too. There's a new beginning for you here. There's a new beginning, Sag, in your third house. And because this new moon is trining Jupiter and Gemini is transiting your seventh house, you could meet someone who becomes a business partner or a client, someone who's supportive of your work, maybe even a benefactor. Okay, so Sag, let me shuffle for you now and see what the cards have to say. This is me as a mom to my kids, making up these silly songs. And yeah, it's just my personality. Because I am who I am, that's why. Oh my goodness. Your card is passion and pleasure. Savor your life. Yes, Sag, I love this card so much. Wow, I love this card so much. Passion and pleasure, savor your life. You're being called into passion and pleasure. You're being called into gratitude. You're being called, everything is great. Everything is fine for you. If you've had worries and stresses, that's the mutable T-square that we've had. This card is saying, come back to the truth that when you say yes to passion and pleasure, you feel in your heart, in your true self, and you can just savor your life. You can just savor the goodness of life. And there's that full moon in Cancer happening in your 8th house. It's right here in the card. Sag, you have a lot to savor, and this card is saying, open up to the truth of the beauty in your life. If you want to claim your passion and pleasure, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear. Scorpio. Hello, beautiful Scorpio. Scorpio, you are going to have a month that I think will be quite healing for you. I sense a focus for you on pleasure, comfort, and rest. And I'll tell you why when we get into your reading here. First of all, Mars is retrograding in Cancer in your 9th house of expansion. This is the house of awakening, long distance travel, learning, publishing, expanding your horizons. It makes a trine to your energy. To have a Mars retrograde trining your energy is really lovely. I think this could feel like a karmic reward for you. It could be a learning experience that happens for you through a relationship or travel or some other kind of situation or event. You could feel a calling of your soul. Why do I say this? Because Mars retrograde does often call to us to take some sort of action that doesn't make logical sense, and yet it turns out to be one that infuses us with new life in some way that we grow tremendously from. And this 9th house is a house of growth. Expansion is growth. The full moon in Cancer is also happening in your 9th house of expansion. You could be called to a new adventure. You could be called to join start a learning program, to get a degree, get a certification in something. This is also the house of spiritual beliefs. Some of you could be releasing a spiritual belief. You could be, I used to think this, but now I believe this. I used to believe in that, but now that's not true for me anymore. You get the idea. This full moon in Cancer is trining your energy. It's trining Neptune and Pisces in your 5th house. And this 5th house is where we experience love, romance, interactions with children, parenting, and our own creative expression. This house is the house of the inner child and how we delight and take care of that child within. So it's a beautiful full moon for you, and it's happening in your 9th house, but it's the 9th and 3rd house axis. That's where the sun will be, in your 3rd house. And this could be a new opportunity for you, or some sort of, new connections, new networks, something unfolding in your everyday local environment. And then the sun in Aquarius is going to be transiting your 4th house of home and family. And Scorpio, your energy gets a square from Aquarius energy. This is also going to be where the new moon is. So there's something going on for you in your home and family, whether it's a relationship with a family member, you want to move perhaps, you are working on a deep level, your soul wants to find a sense of inner home, a sense of rootedness, a sense of security within yourself, emotional security. So you could find during this new moon time, and when Mercury goes into Aquarius, this is all after January 19th when the sun moves into Aquarius, and then we have Mercury moving there, and then the month ends with the new moon. You could feel some sort of pressure or tension either in your home and family sector or in your career sector. That's the 10th and 4th house axis. And this would be a beautiful time to do some sort of healing on your inner child. Taking that inner child in your arms, metaphorically speaking, going inside, doing a meditation. I have several meditations on my channel, and I have meditations in my book for reconnecting with your inner child, my book, The Magic of Saying Yes, which is linked in the description box below. Uranus is going to station direct. It is going to station direct in Taurus, your opposite sign, so it will happen in your 7th house. So if you have any planets or points, Scorpio around 23 degrees, you will likely feel this Uranus direct in one of your relationships. Somebody is saying or doing something that could feel like a surprise to you in some way. But it's necessary for you to see a truth, for you to awaken to something, or for you to just move on, move forward in a relationship. This is not the best time to propose to someone. It's not the best time to do anything that you want to go really well in matters of love, because Uranus in the 7th house is change and often disruptive things. And things don't often go as planned when Uranus, especially when Uranus is making a station. But you probably, Scorpio, had a lot of changes in your relationships with Uranus transiting your 7th house. You could have had partnerships come and go. You could have had partners telling you things that surprised you or shocked you and so forth. Or you could have just drastically changed what you're looking for in a partner, or decided that you actually don't want to be partnered. Lots of different ways this could play out. Scorpio, let us see what the cards have to say for you for your month of January 2025. So exciting. Your card is stepping into your power. You are strong beyond measure. I am not surprised. Scorpio, so there's a lot of Pluto action this month too. When the sun moves into Aquarius, it will conjoin Pluto. When the Mercury enters Aquarius, it will make a conjunction to Pluto. The Aquarian energy makes a square to your energy. So you could definitely find something that was hidden come to light, some truth, some realization. And this card is saying it's a time to step into your power. The light is on. This person is seeing the truth. They are forging their path ahead. Remember that you are strong beyond measure. Remember that nothing that anyone else says or does, or anything that happens in your external world, has to dictate your happiness. You are strong beyond measure. Reclaim your power, set a boundary, look for other options, because there are always options. Accept what you cannot change what you can. But Scorpio, like I said, you're getting so many beautiful transits this month. Mars in Cancer trining your energy. The full moon in Cancer trining your energy. Venus in Pisces trining your energy. So you may not have any discombobulating event happen. Regardless, you could be infused with new power with all of these positive trines and sextiles as well. Beautiful Scorpio, if anything I've shared resonates, let me know in the comments below if you'd like to share. I would love to hear. Libra. Hello, beautiful Libra. Libra, you this month are going to have a focus on career, home, and family, and that life-work balance. Let's get into it. Now, one thing that's really worth noting is that the South Node has been in your sign since June of 2023, a year and a half, and that is ending. And that's important because the South Node, if you're Libra rising, has been transiting your first house of identity. So the roles you play, this really has a lot to do with our identity and partnership. And it has to do with how we see ourselves, and it has to do with our physical body, our vitality. And so for a lot of Libras, you shed a skin during this South Node transit in your sign. You shed a skin. You let go of, some of you let go of relationships. Some of you let go of a relationship dynamic. Some of you saw some sort of ending during this time, or you realized that, you know, maybe you were over-compromising, or you were over-pleasing, or that there wasn't enough balance and reciprocity in a relationship, because you need that, Libra. You need that sense of fairness and equality, and we're both pulling our weight. So the good news is that you have done a lot of inner work with the South Node in your sign. And that's a lot to celebrate. This is really a new beginning for you as the nodes of the moon leave your sign, the South Node leaves your sign, and the nodes go into Pisces and Virgo. And Libra, because the nodes of the moon move backwards, the South Node in Virgo is going to move into your 12th house, and the North Node in Pisces is going to move into your 6th house. And this is going to be this is the axis of your health and well-being. The 6th house, where the North Node is going to be, is basically saying it's time to focus now on your daily work, your job, if you have a job, how you spend your time and energy, and your health, your exercise and your physical, what you eat, and all of those things. Basically, the 6th house is the house of optimal health and well-being. So that's where the focus is shifting for you with the nodes and the eclipses that we're going to have. Now, Mars retrograding in Cancer is transiting your 10th house of career. So notice that the North Node's in your 6th house of everyday work, and then Mars is retrograding in your 10th house of career, and those could be the same for you. They're not always the same. Some people have a day job and then they have a passionate career or a passion that's that in the house of vocation in the 10th house. But there's definitely a focus on your career or your daily work this month. And Mars retrograde in Cancer does make a square to your energy. So I think you're going to be inspired, or you're looking for inspiration. You're feeling like something's got to give, something's got to change. I need to make a change, whatever it is. Some of you will retire. Some of you will change your career. You'll start your own business. You will sell a business. You are really looking to, I think a lot of you, how can I express my purpose, my sense of how can I find meaning in my career if you don't feel like you have that right now? You are going to be questioning what you need for career fulfillment and what action you could take to begin to put that in motion. The full moon in Cancer will also happen in your 10th house. And the sun in Capricorn will be in your 4th house. So again, here's that career, home, and family axis for you getting lit up and activated this month. You could cut a tie to something in career, especially because Mars will conjoin the moon in Cancer in your 10th house. You could also decide to double down on some efforts in career or make a certain commitment that is going to bring you more of a sense of security. The full moon trines Neptune. Neptune is in your 6th house where the North Node is going to be, and that could be a new job, a new lifestyle, or shedding a habit. And then the Sun and Mercury transiting in Capricorn brings a focus to your 4th house of roots and home and family and your actual home, your inner home within yourself. So with Mercury in your 4th house, you are thinking about your home life. You are having conversations. You're making plans. Libra, you are beginning to really think about, do you love the home that you're in? Are things going well with your family? Is there a family member that you need to heal a relationship with? You get the idea. The new moon in Aquarius will happen in your 5th house. It will trine your energy. This is going to be a breath of fresh air for you. This is a new beginning in your house of children, true love and romance, your creative expression, anything that you love to do. You're an artist, Libra. Almost every Libra I know is some sort of an artist. And if you're not aware of your artistry, you are certainly highly creative. You know how to design life. I think of Libras as designers. You know how to design life in a way that works for you, but you do need reciprocity. You do need balance. You do need to feel like what you're giving is being reciprocated. And so I think that's going to be on your mind when we have this new moon in Aquarius that is making a trine to your energy. Aquarius energy is so creative, so brilliant. This is your genius. So what new and different do you want to create? Because not only is the new moon going to be in Aquarius, but the co-ruler of this new moon is Uranus, and Uranus is going to shift into direct motion. And I think that's really going to jumpstart something for many of us. So Libra, let's see what your cards have to say. The cards have to say for you, Libra. Your card is distant thunder, clear the air. Libra, do you have air to clear with somebody? Is there some person, situation that needs to shift? Do you need to speak your truth to anyone? When I see lightning, I think of Uranus. When Uranus makes its direct motion, when it stations direct at the end of this month, there could be something that maybe you've swept under the rug, something that has sort of been put on the back burner, perhaps a conversation that should have been had that wasn't had. We all do that. But this is saying if you feel like there's something in the distance that could erupt, so to speak, clear the air, take care of it, have the conversation, speak your truth, stand up for yourself. Maybe that's the Mars retrograde in Cancer squaring your energy, Libra. It could be that. Mars retrograde in Cancer. Cancer is home and family. It's our own sense of inner security, emotional security. What do you need to work out with somebody to feel more emotionally secure? Perhaps that is what this card is saying. If this card resonates for you, beautiful Libra, leave me a comment. Let me know. I would love to hear. Virgo. Hello, beautiful Virgo. Virgo, you are going to have a month of self-love and emotional freedom. Let's talk about why I'm saying this. First of all, I want you to know that you are one of the mutable signs, so you were definitely affected by the T-square that happened between Mercury in Sagittarius opposing Jupiter in Gemini, and then both were squared by Saturn in Pisces. The mutable signs really felt this. This happened in August, and then it happened again in December and around the holidays. So if you felt squeezed, if you felt like you had too much on your plate, if anything happened that was difficult in relationship, for example, or any other place where you felt any sort of emotional overwhelm, just know that that is going to be ending by the first week in January. Now, Virgo, the Mars retrograde in Cancer is happening for you in your 11th house. This is where you are deliberating on how you want to use your energy in 11th house matters, which is your friendships, your alliances, feeling supported, groups and causes, and any place where you hang out, where you have what you would call a tribe, or maybe you don't have tribe and you want tribe, and you're thinking about that too, how you could get it, what moves you could make to get more support in your life. That could be happening for you too. What I love about Mars retrograde in Cancer is Cancer is water, you are earth, and it makes a sextile to your energy, and this is a new opportunity. So I would say during this Mars retrograde, really follow your heart, really follow your instincts, and go test out. This is Mars retrograde is a time of exploration. It's a time of trying things out. It's a time of following your heart, following your soul, and making any moves, not long-term, like major life decisions, unless you feel that you are called to do it. And then I really encourage you to think of it as an adventure rather than a long-term thing. It could be long-term, but often it's not. But you are also maybe thinking about a social media platform. You are thinking about putting your message out into the world, perhaps if you have one. You are thinking about how you can expand, maybe branding, marketing, some of you, or rebranding something, a business. You could be doing that as well during this transit. The Sun and Mercury in Capricorn are trining your energy. This is really beautiful. It's happening in your 5th house of children, creative projects, true love and romance. Virgo, it is time to enjoy your life more. You get a big permission slip that says, go play, go play. You need more fun in your life. This will not be all of you, but a lot of you are getting this from this transit of the Sun and Mercury in Capricorn. It's making a trine. It's invitations falling into your lap. It's opportunities coming up to just really, really enjoy yourself, Virgo. The North Node in Pisces and the South Node entering your sign. This is a really big deal. Really big deal for you. The South Node is moving into your 1st house of the self, your identity, your physical body, your vitality, the roles that you play. The South Node in your sign, Virgo, is really going to support you in shedding anything that has you being hard on yourself, any perfectionism, need to get it right, where you might have a fear that that you did something incorrectly. This is very much part of often of the Virgo path. It could help you, the South Node in your sign could help you shed anxiety. Anything where you work so hard, Virgo, you really do have a deep altruistic heart. You want to serve people. You really are so conscientious and so deliberate in your desire to help others, but sometimes that desire can come from not wanting to fail, and that a fear of like not doing it well enough. And that is what this South Node in Virgo is going to help you shed. I have a separate video for you on this transit of the North Node in Pisces, the lunar nodes changing signs. This is where we're going to have eclipses. So strongly encourage you to watch that video, because I do a much deeper dive and give you lots of support. And if you're having a nodal return or a reverse nodal return, I share about that at length too, and what you can expect, and give some examples from my own life. What else, beautiful Virgo? Venus is going to make a conjunction to Saturn in Pisces. Venus in Pisces, Saturn in Pisces. These are both happening in your 7th house. Some of you are setting boundaries in a relationship. Some of you are making a commitment, or you're ending a commitment. You're cutting ties to someone, you're ending a relationship, or you're making a new commitment to somebody. There's going to be 3 passes of this Venus conjunct Saturn. So relationships are really, really up for you now and through the spring, because Venus will retrograde in March. This is why I say this is a month of self-love and emotional freedom, because it's really time to put your own needs first and to not self-abandon. And finally, I want to tell you, beautiful Virgo, that Uranus is going to shift into direct motion at the end of the month. And that is for you because Uranus is in a earth sign Taurus. It's going to make a trine to your energy. It's happening in your 9th house. It's very expansive. A really beautiful transit for you. Uranus shifting direct is, if you're in a learning program right now, I think you're going to feel the momentum coming back. If you are wanting to do some long distance travel, if you are wanting to take an adventure or do anything that brings you new scenery, new horizons, a feeling of expansion, yes, the answer is yes, 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 do it, beautiful Virgo. Okay, so let me now pull a card and see what the cards have to say for you. Virgo. Your card is Vast Vistas. Yes, it's that 9th house energy. Check it out. Expand your horizons. Oh, I love it when the cards are so synchronistic. That's where Uranus is turning direct for you in your 9th house, trining your energy. Time for an adventure, beautiful Virgo. Time to get out of the box. And, you know, that's funny because that's Uranus energy too, is thinking outside the box. Physically, this is physical earth energy, physically getting out of any box. Maybe it's an environment. Maybe it's where you live locally. Maybe it is anything that has felt at all claustrophobic or suffocating or just too tight for you. It's time to get out, move, explore new horizons, take an adventure. If you want to claim your vast vista, beautiful Virgo, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Leo, hello, beautiful Leo. Leo, this month, January 2025, is going to be for you, I believe, one of spiritual expansion, shifting relationship dynamics as well. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, Mars is retrograding in your sign opposite Pluto. It has been for a while now. It's finishing out its retrograde in your sign, opposing Pluto, which could not have been easy for you, especially if you have planets or points between 0 and 6 degrees of your sign in your natal chart. You could have felt opposed. You could have felt unsupported, or even have had conflicts with someone significant in your life during this time. Pluto opposing your own rising sign, not easy, beautiful Leo. And I know that some of you are in a Pluto transit if you have planets or points, especially in your sign between 0 and like 1 or 2 degrees. Those transits are not easy, but they are hugely growthful. They're skin shedding. They are transformational. I get it. And if you are going through that and it's really difficult, painful, or challenging, please know that I can support you through an astrology consultation or coaching. Now, Mars is retrograding back into your 12th house. The message for you when Mars is transiting your 12th house is go into your internal awareness of your soul. It's a mystical transit. You could have intense dreams during this time. Remember who you are at your core, your spiritual beingness. Activate your inner magician. Remember that you are one with the divine. Remember that you have a deep, deep connection with your own spiritual wisdom that wants to come through for you. Cancer, where Mars is going to retrograde back into, is your side-by-side signs. That is a teaching. Cancer energy is a teaching energy for you. Whichever sign is next to our sign, it teaches you. You learn from it. You could feel like you're on a hero's journey. You could feel like you're on a quest. This could be deep diving. It's a great time for guided meditation. I have several of those on my YouTube channel and one you can download from my website. This is a time to really go deep within and get a treasure that your soul wants to give you. Your soul wants to give you some knowledge, it wants to take you back to your childhood, some of you. It wants to show you something that you haven't yet seen about yourself that's going to be very emotionally freeing for you. Pluto in Aquarius in your 7th house is going to be activated more than once during this month because the Sun in Aquarius will activate it and then Mercury in Aquarius will activate it. So just know that you may be setting boundaries, that you may be taking back your power, that you may be, some of you feeling a lot of passion in relationship during this time. It's happening in your 7th house, and the Sun conjunct Pluto, Mercury conjunct Pluto can feel very passionate. Really primal, kinds of very sexual for some of you. Like some of you could be making a commitment too. Very deep, deep, deep desire can bring up dark fears as well. Mercury in Aquarius and the new moon in Aquarius. It's going to be a lovely new moon. It is going to make an opposition to your energy because, as we talked about, Aquarius opposes your sign, Leo, and this is all happening in your 7th house of relationships. So this is why I said you're going to be shifting a relationship dynamic or a relationship within yourself, I think, during this month. You're being called to expand on a spiritual level by the Mars retrograde in Cancer, and then to see yourself with new eyes, and you will bring that to any relationship dynamic. If you are in any sort of a power struggle with Pluto opposing your energy, if you are Leo rising, this is a time to activate the serenity prayer, let go of control where you have no control. Of course, control is often an illusion, but to let go of the need to control something that you are actually don't have power over, that can happen during a Pluto transit. It's not easy, I know. I have a whole video on hard Pluto transits, by the way, Leo, that is linked in my description box below this video. But what I love about this new moon is it makes a trine to Jupiter in Gemini. And that's really nice for you because Jupiter in Gemini is making a sextile to your energy. So you could find during this new moon that you have a source of support through friendships, through communities, through tribe. Really nice for online dating, nice for activating a hope, wish, or dream, or for long-term financial gains. And finally, beautiful Leo, Uranus is going to shift into direct motion, and it's in Taurus, and that's your 10th house of career. So many of you have had career changes, I would guess, with Uranus transiting your 10th house of career, because Uranus does bring about change. It does get us unstuck. It is breakdowns and breakthroughs and breaking free. So if you have any planets or points in your sign around 23 degrees, you will feel this. It could feel like you are breaking free. It could feel like an epiphany. It does make a square to your energy. So you will likely need to take some sort of action to release pressure if you feel that. The goal is to liberate yourself. The goal is to find more freedom in your vocation, in your passion, in your career, in your life purpose expressed. And some of you could feel that square energy in terms of having to make a decision, or could be tension with a boss or a coworker, but Ultimately, this is about you taking your power back, saying yes to your heart, and freeing yourself to follow your soul's calling in career or retirement, if some of you want to retire, or any way in which you'd like to express your life purpose. Beautiful Leo. So with all of that said, let's now see what your message is from the cards. Beautiful Leo. Your card is keep going forward. Keep going forward. Do not give up. Do not turn around. Keep climbing that mountain. Beautiful Leo. What a beautiful message. It's saying you're on the right track. It's saying you may get, stalled along the way. You may lose hope. You may lose faith, but don't, because the universe has your back. Your spiritual guides, your angels, the force of the divine is the wind at your back. It's pulling you forward. It's pushing you forward. Let yourself be pulled forward by your passion, Leo, and you can't possibly fail. And if you want to claim the truth that you are on your way toward your goal, or anything else you want to claim, if this card resonates, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. My beautiful friend, thank you for joining me for this January 2025 video. I am so glad that you're here. Thank you for liking this video, for commenting, for sharing with others, for subscribing to my channel. I so appreciate your support of this work. Your support activates the algorithm that puts this video out to more people who love astrology and helps me grow the channel. If you would like to do an astrology consultation with me, if you would like to find out what this year of 2025 holds for you, I am doing 2025 year ahead readings. We can do a 90-minute reading if you'd like coaching. We can do a life purpose, heart's desire, or relationship synastry reading. Whatever is calling to you, go to my website, check out the testimonials that other clients have shared after working with me, and you should get a sense of whether you feel called to book a reading. I can also offer you coaching through my clarity coaching sessions. The links to my coaching and my astrology pages are in the description box below. If you'd like to get a free gift from me, which is a soothing guided meditation, reconnecting you to your heart, connecting you to your spiritual guidance and wisdom, go to my website, sign up for my free weekly inspirational updates, which is the astrology between videos. Subscribe for free and you will get my free gift, instant download guided meditation at the same time. My beautiful friend, I am so excited for 2025, for us moving into new soul territory. Thank you for being part of my tribe. Thank you for joining me. We are part of the same soul family, I believe. If you're someone who's been watching my videos or you're here for the first time and enjoying them, there's a reason that we have come together in community, and it really lights up my heart to know that we are on this journey together. So let me know how you feel about this January 2025 astrology. Lots of things going on, lots of movement. And until my next video, which is going to be on the full moon in Cancer, until then, I am sending you all my love.